So I think we shall start, right? Riya and Sai Kishore.
Yeah, we can start.
Yeah, I think we can start.
Yes, so hello everyone. Eight of us from Tata Institute of Social Science, MHA course, we are here. So we all know that the time has been uncertain and there has not been much clarity about the future process. But trust us that we have been pitching to the faculty to ask your doubts every now and then. So we are holding. We are nothing. Nothing is that we are holding back. So we have been discussing about your concerns every now and then, and that's why we thought of arranging this meet. So first of all, we all will tell you that what we had as an interview experience. So what we had in our processes, and after that we will answer some of the common doubt, and then you guys can uh, ask your doubts specific. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Kunal Thakkar. I am the 1921 batch student. So I am a second year student. So we are just at the verge of finishing our course. So I have appeared for my exam in 2019. So what I think about the process is, so at now you are having PET. At that time we were having PIVET. So that was personal interview and writing ability test. So PET is nothing different from the writing ability test. So what I feel, they want to check your general skills that a manager should usually have about that counting skill or number crunching skills or the field knowledge. So that is all about PET. And for personal interview, basically they want to know about three things. So first is, what have you done in your past and how do you feel about it? So they may ask you questions like, tell me something about yourself, tell me about your work experience, uh, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, so what do you feel about your field. So they may come up with a question that, so I am a dentist, so they did ask me a question that, what do you think, how the revenue of a dentist is going toward, are they decreasing or what? So that's what they want to know by that. Second thing, they want to know that how aware are you for the course you want to. So they may ask you about the TIS, about MHA course. Do you know about faculty, the course, all the name? Maybe they can ask you the name of the course. They did ask me that. So that is about the second thing. And the third thing is, how your thought process is. So they may ask you about the cases. They can ask some cases that, like, they ask me that, suppose you are a main person or a manager of a hospital or a director of a hospital, and there is a doctor whose revenue is not he is not contributing towards the revenue of the hospital. So what will you do in that situation? So they want to know that, what is your thought process. So by all these questions, they simply want to know that how honest you are, what are your values about your past, and what have you done till now, how aware are you, and how hard work you put in the research for the course, and how your thought process works. So that has been my experience of the process. So now we can, I will like to give a chance to Sai Kishore. He will tell about his experience.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm also a 1921 batch student. So I'm currently in second year. So most of the things my colleague Kunal explained, but I'll be just telling my experience of this interview process, how I faced it, and what questions they have asked. Because I'm completely from non-medical background. So if you see, Kunal is a dentist, so he is somewhere related to MHA course. But I'm a mechanical engineer who is nowhere related to medical background. So, an interview, frankly speaking, I didn't join these groups and all, and I didn't have any guidance like you people are having. So, all this, I applied for this course. So, this was my second option, and then I paid for the interview without preparing anything. So, only thing what I'm telling is they won't check your knowledge. Knowledge is first basic thing. They will mostly they decide on your selection on the basis of how your thinking approach, how you think, and the way you answer. First thing is don't blabber and don't say something which you don't know that you already know. That thing you should avoid. So don't lie. Be frank with them. So I was not asking questions about healthcare and all this domain. Some basic questions which you can expect. Like they ask me, tell me about yourself, and then they ask me questions related to my resume only. So whatever is there in that, I mentioned that I'm a mechanical engineer. So I was asked questions based on robotics and mechanics, and then later, always remember, try to connect your undergraduation with your PG course, with this course. So that thing they will ask. So they will be like, so you're a mechanical engineer. So how do you use your mechanical engineering knowledge in this MHA course or in your future career wherever you want to go from this MHA? So try to bring that linkage from your UG to this PG course and then to your career. So follow this linkage and then be frank because they already know all the answers. Basic things like your state. If I was asked about my state scenario, healthcare scenario from health minister who is, and then how my state health ministry is different from central government. What difference is states. So such things will be asked to be clear about that, and then yeah, that's it. So my juniors will be taking up from me.
So we both were basically we didn't have that online personal interview exposure. So now whoever are speaking will be will be of the exposure you are going to have in near future. So yes, over to you, Ria.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So, I am from the 2020 to 2022 batch, NHA batch. So, even I did not have an online interview. My interview was offline. It was before the lockdown started. And Kunal mentioned, the basic things they check are what, like things about yourself, how aware you are, and what do you know about the course. So I was also the first question which I was asked was some like I was asked to tell something about myself, and the next question was why I wanted to pursue MHA. I think that is the most important question which you have to answer, and please try to be as genuine and as convincing when you are answering this question. During our time, we had the detailed application form where they used to write this answer and they used to read it and ask us questions based on that. But you will be asked the question directly, and so make sure that you do not have a very general answer to them. Like people usually they say that okay, so my so and so relative was admitted. There were so many issues in the hospital. So that is okay. That can be a part of the answer. But like why you want to pursue MHA, you have to be more convincing than just because you have to have more solid reasons. Just because some relative was admitted and you face some issues, you notice some issues in the hospital. That's not a strong enough issue for you to pursue hospital administration. So, and be genuine. Do not like say things which you are not sure about. Then the next thing, of course, is about your state, the state of healthcare in your particular. Like I am from Uttar Pradesh. What are the issues? What are the challenges? What can be done to address those issues? And then from your background, like I'm also a dentist, like Kunal, so I was asked questions about what administrative issues I had observed in my dental hospital and what can be done to address those issues. And then, like if you have work experience, make sure you know everything around that as well. So since I used to work in a corporate company called IKS Health, and like the work was mostly related to electronic health records. So I was asked questions on what are electronic health records, what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages. So if you have any work experience, make sure that you know everything around it. Also, I was the next question which I was asked is why I did not join the course as a fresher. Why did I take like why
EHR things and everything.
yeah, so you can be asked about the benefits and challenges. So I was asked about benefits and challenges regarding EHS, and so since I had work experience, at the question which I was asked is that why I did not join the course as a fresher. Why did I take a 2 year break? Like why did I work for 2 years and then join the course? So I was saying that if you have work experience, make sure that you justify your cause for not joining the course like just after your graduation. While if you are just a fresher, make sure you have a reason why you want to join the course just as a fresher and not after gaining some work experience. You should have both the things. And I was asked about the course as a whole, like what kind of roles I expect after pursuing, like after finishing the course. And then I was asked about the various subjects in MHA. Like this is the most common question which is asked to about like 50% of people, like what are the different subjects you'll be studying in MHA. So make sure you go through the TIS website and check out everything related to MHA that is given there. And even like some of you must be applying for MPH as well, so like all the things, the difference between MHA and MPH, you should be clear about all those things. So that was all about me. Now I'll ask Ritika to share her experiences with you all.
So, hi guys, I'm Dr. Ritika Tiwari and I'm also a dentist. So basically, I have given exam for 2 years, like offline as well as online. I have given my first attempt in 2019. So I'll just tell you a very practical difference, okay? Like why when I analyzed why I didn't get admission in 2019 interview versus 2020. So in 2019, I was obviously asked why I want to do MHA, and like Ria said, at that time I think I did not there are many loopholes in hospitals, all those things, and I want to improve that. So the interviewer told me that you are not here for social work. You should join some social work course and pursue. And when I analyzed after the interview, when I didn't get the admission, guys, so you as a person cannot change the hospital. So do not say all these things. I know there are too many loopholes in government hospitals, and we think that it's the administrator's job, but no, it's a system that works. So first of all, I have seen many DAFs, like I've been interacting with few of you, and many of you have written the same thing that during pandemic I saw ऐसा नहीं work हो रहा है, वैसा नहीं work हो रहा है. So I think I can change that. But just remember, you alone cannot change. So इतना भी deeply loopholes पे focus मत करो. That is what affected my interview. Second thing, what I was asked was about I was working, so I had work experience. So sir had asked me if you my CTC was like 3.3. So they asked me if you get the same CTC, तो आप masters क्यों कर रहे हो? अगर MHA के बाद भी if you get the same thing, so why are you doing masters? Why don't you continue with your job? So if you are working, just have a solid reason why you are doing MHA and you are leaving your job. Third thing, I was asked about something, मतलब pharma related. I was asked classification of antibiotics. So medical people थोड़ा अपना background strong रखना, अपने subjects को ठीक से एक बार revise कर लेना at least 1 week before. अभी से नहीं, but at least 1 week before अपने subjects देख लेना. मुझे I was asked about antibiotic resistance basically कि इंडिया में antibiotic resistance क्यों है. So then the next question was classification of antibiotics. Then I was asked about biomedical waste management. All those process, I was asked what are the different types of process and do I feel there should be any changes or not. So ये सब चीजें देख लेना. Then I was asked about these any medical negligence examples that is happening in the country. So, जो recent news में है, so be updated with the current issues. Like there have been a lot of mishaps happening nowadays. Fire लग रहा है hospitals में. So, read all those things. What is the reason? Analyze the situation and what you can do. Because they can ask you कि उधर आप होते administrative position पे, तो what you would have done. So, current health news पे बहुत focus करना. And if you have experience, like honestly, just don't fake it. The interviewers are very experienced and they'll catch you. Just be honest and like give authentic answers because they'll catch you and then you have no chance. So my advice would be very updated with the current affairs in healthcare and just present yourself very nicely because everyone knows what is what. How you present yourself and how much honest you can be in front of the interviewer is very important. And say simpler things. ज़्यादा मतलब it's not important that we should know everything. Just be calm and be honest. That's what you need. And in any case difficulty or something, you can feel free to ask me anything. Thank you. I think Shishir can go ahead now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ritika. So my name is Shashir. I'm basically from J&K. and I'm from 2020-2022 batch. Ritika and Ria are my batchmates. So I would talk about my interview experience. I had given an online interview that was on 13th of March of last year, and I guess that was the last online interview batch, I guess. And then after 15th of March, the interviews were all online, and so my interview was the I think it was second interview on that day, 13th of March, and it was early morning. I went inside. There were three panelists. They all were the professors from School of Health System Studies. They begin with asking us about our introduction. They would ask you to introduce yourself. They would ask you if you had a good meal in the morning, the basic things that you must be knowing about yourself. So then they will begin with your past education and your professional experience if you are having any. Like I have worked about 2 years in a company called Capgemini India. So that is an MNC. So the questions in your interview will revolve around how you present yourself. If you have been preparing for UPSC, they will ask you about UPSC. If you have been working, they will ask you about your work experience. If you have been working in a medical field, they will ask you about that, each and everything. You should know how well you have worked there, and you should know the organization top to bottom. Apart from this, if you are an engineer like me, like I am a software engineer, so they would definitely want to know that how good you know that field, how good knowledge you have about that, and if you have applied for any other post apart from MHA, then they would ask you why you want to get selected in MHA and not that post. So all these questions will be focused on your interest level. Apart from this, some questions can be asked out of nowhere, like they might be concentrated on anything else in your life which is related to your experience. I was asked personally that why do you want to be at TIS? What do you like about TIS? Do you know any alumni of TIS? Have you connected with any of the alumni of through social media or anything? And they even asked me about the name of that alumni and how they have influenced us in joining TIS. Then apart from this, they can ask you about uh, your subjects from your bachelor's. Like I was asked about electronic gates, that AND gate, NAND gate, XOR gate, and since mathematics was my strong point in my bachelor's, so they asked me many mathematical questions also, like integration, differentiation, and all. So you have to be ready for that. If you are not, then they would not bug you, but they will definitely want you to answer, because these are the basic things we should know. uh, Moreover, they can ask you about any of the processes if you have worked. Like I've used to worked on CTC and B2B processes in my work, like at my company. So they asked me about these processes. They asked me that if you have experience in HR, then what did you do there? What kind of employee engagement activities? What kind of operations work did you do? Did you perform there? Now, coming on to the other side of it, like I was asked many questions related to the medical field as well. Since I was an engineer, but they wanted to know if I have some basic knowledge. I was asked about neurology, nephrology, cardiology. I was asked about any of the diseases related to nervous system. So that's when you may get surprised, and you may not be able to answer. So you have to be prepared for that as well. Now, one of the questions which was just out of the box for me was, can you tell me something about CT scan or MRI scan machines? So they asked me about the M graph. M graph is a thing which is a curve that gets formed when we operate a CT scan machine, and it basically tells us about the functioning of that particular machine. So it is very rare that they would ask you this kind of technical question, but you should be prepared for this as well. Now coming on to the state, like my friends Ria and Ritika mentioned, so they will definitely ask you about the healthcare system in your particular state. Like I was from JNK, so they asked me what is the scenario of the medical education and health department in your state government, and how good they are doing at their own level. So you should have some facts, and you should learn more and more about your own region from where you belong. Now they asked me that why do you want to change your field? Why do you want to come into MHA? So you should have an inclination towards, what you want to pursue. You should have valid reasons. You should convince them that you love this field, you want to be an administrator, and you want to work ahead in this career as a professional. And apart from this, they can throw at you some questions which are related to the current hot topic. So as we all know that we are currently going through a pandemic, and definitely the questions will come from this side of horizon. They can ask you about anything related to coronavirus pandemic. They may ask you that how well is the Indian healthcare system performing, or if it has at all collapsed, then why it happened, etc. So yeah, that's it, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, Shishir. You put up some beautiful points for the non-medical background people as well. Just making a note that you should know a bit about everything. So you are going towards healthcare, so you should know whatever Shishir has told you. But it's always okay if you tell that no, sir, I don't know. You should know the basics, but you should not try to fake it, as Ritika has mentioned earlier. So. Yes, Shishir, one of the aspirant is asking that can you please share questions which were posed to you in regard to IT software and work experience?
Yeah, I can definitely think of some
Or
questions
I
which
think I think
I had faced.
yes. Sorry for interrupting. I think we should take up the question at the later half as we have decided. So please hold on to your question. We will take it on the later part. I think Karishma can continue now.
Sure.
Yes, Karishma. Thank you, Shishir.
Hello. Sorry to interrupt. Uh,
Yes,
Actually, people will get some questions and they might forget their questions also. So, according to our context, we are speaking. So, they will have some questions. So, I suggest you people drop your question in the text box or there in the chat box so that it will be there. And then when Q&A session comes, then we will go through them and we'll answer.
yes. Point taken, Sangisha. Thank you. Yes, Karishma.
Hi, good evening, guys. So, first of all, sorry I couldn't switch on my video due to technical issues. So, I'm Karishma Das. So, I belong to 2020-2022 batch, or I think what you would say COVID batch. So, I was the and also, unfortunately, from my batch onwards, the online interview started. So, it has started around 15. So, I think I was the first batch facing online interview. So we didn't have personal interview test. We didn't have DAC forms too. But I've heard like some of our friends have been asked to say explain what they have written in their DAC forms. But for me, I was not asked. So basically, the questions that I have faced, it came in 3 stages. First, there was an introduction, self introduction, like name, background, graduation, degree, etc. Then next part was like, since I did my graduation in biomedical engineering, which was not very much related to hospital administration, I was asked to connect my degree with the post graduation course I have chosen. So it was like, basically from my experience, I would say that this interview is about representing yourself in the best possible way, so that the interview panel will find you suitable, or that you know something related to the course. That's it. So then I was asked my degree related question. As my friend Shishir has told, I was also asked about imageology related questions. All the CT, MRI, its instrumentation, its functioning and stuff like that. Then the basic duties of a biomedical engineer in a hospital. These were some of the questions I have been asked, and to be frank, I was not able to answer every single question related to degree. Even the basic duty of a biomedical engineer, I have made mistakes, and there was instance when I said I don't know, sir. Like they're there. It's not necessary that you need to know everything or you have to answer everything. It's totally fine. But as my seniors have said, please don't blabber, because if you blabber, they may ask further questions, and surely they'll come to know you don't know much about that topic. Then next thing they asked me was I belong to Kerala. So there was a very basic simple question one of the interviewer has asked me. It was about like nearby hospitals, nearby multi-specialty hospitals, and they asked me why it is like more people go to these hospitals. That was the basic thing. Then they asked me about health policies taken up, latest health innovations taken up by my state government. So at that time, I remember answering. There was a e-health program, and I remembered answering about that program. Then I was asked about the central government health policies. Then there was like questions about how the health sector is working in my state. Then that was it. Actually, another thing I really remember about my interview was I was like totally panicked. I totally panicked in my interview because there was technical issues and I couldn't join on time. And the first thing the interviewers told me was to just calm down and then answer. It was like they were pretty good. Then another thing I would suggest is like you might have gone through the test website faculties. It won't be just the TIS MHA faculties whom you will be facing. There will be faculties from health school, overall health school. So for me, I got 2 core MHA faculty and another faculty from other health schools. But just by seeing their degree, PG or PhD background, don't underestimate them. Don't because I even felt like one of my interviews, he knew almost about most of the field. I was like very confident. Just as one of my senior has said, I didn't prepare for the interview. I was like I knew something, and I just went there. And I didn't get much support or anything as such. So I actually slightly judged the interview. I thought like, okay, my stream is not very popular, so it will be a cakewalk for me. But when I went to that interview, I understood that that person knew almost everything related to my field, and his degree had nothing to do with mine. So one thing is, don't underestimate your interviewer. Don't blabber. Just be calm. They are like very inclusive. And another thing is like most of you will be concerned about your language. I've heard some of the queries were like will my language affect you? Whatever be your mother tongue, just express. Language is like just a medium of communication. It doesn't mean that you have to speak a very fluent English with a British accent or something. It's totally fine. Just express yourself in the appropriate way. That's it. That was all, and it was nice. It was a very good interaction, as such. So I think I'll ask my batchmate Rohan to share his experience.
Thank you, Karishma. So, hello friends. This is Rohan from the batch of 2020-22. Yes, so I want to extend further what my seniors and batchmates said. So let me first share some of the questions that were asked to me. Basic questions of what is the difference between administration and management. So this was one of the basic that they asked me about management. After that question, related to that first question, second question was what are the principles of management? So they went into very management part of it. Apart from that, since it was my educational qualification is MSc Organic Chemistry, and I had also put in my dive that I was a UPSC aspirant. So they asked me what is the difference in the healthcare system in rural India as well as urban India. From that, somehow point reached up to there is a quackery going on in the rural areas. Okay, there are unregistered doctors. So what do you think about them? Why rural healthcare seekers approach them? So and why? What's the reason for that? So such questions they asked me. After that, they asked me point-wise answer about pros and cons of public and private hospitals. What are the benefits of going to private or even government hospitals? So they asked me the difference about that. Similarly, some of the public health related questions, such as since I'm staying at Mumbai, and as we know that Asia's the biggest slum Dharavi is in Mumbai. So they asked me what are the healthcare issues of slum dwellers. So somehow the things while answering some of the one of the point was nutritional avenues. They are not, I mean because of nutritional backlash, slum dwellers they have quite a weaker health, and that further makes them vulnerable to plethora of diseases. So they asked me what are the nutritional avenues of slum dwellers. So whatever I feel that whatever answer you gave on the previous question, that becomes a link for your next answers. Okay, so these are the basic questions they asked me. Apart from that, one of the statistics related question that what is the WHO recommended nurse to population ratio? So similarly, I would recommend you to have explore all those ratios, like even maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, because you never know that what statistic related question they may ask you during your interview. On the day of interview, I felt this creates quite uncertainty that what will happen, how to enter in. Okay, so on your admit card, they'll provide you Zoom links and the time of entering into it. So after entering into the Zoom link provided on your admit card on the day of interview, they will make you sit in the waiting room first, and from there you'll be sent towards a particular room in which there will be three interviewers who will take your interview. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. Of course, the questions like basic questions like tell me about yourself, why MHA, what are your intentions of, I mean, what are you expecting from this course in the future? So such kind of questions will need asked. Yeah, so that's it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rohan,
thank you
for
so much.
providing a brief of the process as well. So we
Yeah,
tried to provide you as much diversity we can provide you, but we assure you that if some of you have some other background and you want to pitch in the questions, we can always direct you to our batchmates who are related to your background. So just providing a gist that all we have discussed till now is as Karishma and Ritika has rightly said, that be honest in your interviews, speak whatever you can defend. So you are the best person to step up in your shoes, uh, upgrade your knowledge, and know your locality, healthcare state, healthcare status of your state, as Shishir has rightly put. Then language is not a barrier, as Karishma has said, and Rohan also put up some points of you should know about basics of the management as well. So these were our interview experiences. Now we'll go towards the questions you guys have. But so first question is for Shishir. Can you please share some questions which were posed you in regard to IT software and work experience?
Yes, Kunal, I can. So, as far as I remember, I was asked about my domain, like the domain in which I work, that was Oracle. So, we have a lot of domains in IT sector, Oracle domain, that is SAP, we have Java, we have many more. So, they asked me about Oracle and how is it going. So, I was managing the Oracle service line in my company, basically. I had around 1800 resources under me, and I was a part of RMG team, Resource Management Group. So, and then they may ask you if you are a programmer, if you are coding, they may ask you the software are you using, and what software are you using. And they might not be that interested in the tech part of it, but they might be interested in the management part of it, how you're managing things, and how is your team, and what kind of work would you implement in the healthcare sector. Like I was asked, since I'm a software engineer, so they asked me that how can you implement technology in hospitals? How can you inculcate artificial intelligence in hospitals? How can you make it better with the help of technology? So these kind of questions can be asked.
Yes, so it's for each and every field. So whatever, in whichever field you have been, so how it is applicable to the healthcare. So that's what they need to see what your thought process is. So second question is from Jaita, that she is also a dentist. So can we throw some lights on the question they might ask from related to dentistry? If Ria or Ritika, someone can take it.
Hi. So, I wasn't like for the MHA interview. I was not asked anything related to dentistry except that one question that what all administrative issues I have observed in my dental hospital, and the other question I think was that how dentistry is related to hospital administration. So those are the two things. But for my MPH interviews, there were questions based on epidemiology, biostats, or the difference between weight and ratio. I think a lot of you might be applying for MPH courses as well. So they usually ask a lot of public health related questions like PHC, CHC, whatever you have studied in community dentistry basically. So for MHA particularly, I cannot recall anything that was asked related to dentistry. Ritika, if you remember something, maybe you can.
Yeah, so in my 2019 interview, I was asked that why do you think so many people from BDS are moving towards MHA? So that was one thing I was asked in 2019. Then about the classification, like antibiotic risks, I was asked about randomized control trials in the hospital administration interview by one of the MPH ma'am. So she asked me that. So odds ratio randomized control trial, thoda so benefit so you can just brush it up. And about all these about medical waste management, I was asked, and medical negligence. So little bit about medical related, not per se dentistry related. So,
Okay, so clinical trial is the most relevant thing right now. All the medical background people should know, and you non-medicals also can read about clinical trials. My voice is clear, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yes.
Yes. So clinical trial is a basic thing, so you all should know about that. Apart from that, what dentist can read about is CDC guidelines of AGP procedures, that is aerosol generating procedure, because dentistry is the aerosol generating procedure. So CDC has provided that guideline, so they may ask something regarding to that. You can read about that root canal treatment as well. Someone might check your basic knowledge. So you should know about basics and something about recent scenarios, so AGP guidelines. Where from can one look out for statistics like some official sources? So for statistics, I during my test time I did my statistics from a Udemy course. So you can go on Udemy and search for biostatistics, or in dentistry also we have some chapters in public health dentistry. I don't know your background, so you can go to Udemy or some online learning platform. So from there you can know about the statistics. Again, a question
I,
for
I think he has been asking like they can
Hello?
like what sources to refer to when
Yeah, yeah.
they asked about the like the indicators and stuff.
okay,
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
statistics they meant is
yeah. So you can refer like on the WHO website is you can refer. There are a lot of statistics mentioned on the WHO website. For specific things, you can refer the National Family Health Survey NFHS 4, and a part of 5 is also there on the website. Then the National Health Profile 2017. I remember in my like last year there was no test pad, but we had a pre-interview test where they had asked a few MCQs. So they had specifically mentioned in the question that according to NHP 2017, which state has the highest maternal mortality rate. So like that, so please refer NHP 2017. It's a very important source for all the knowledge. And if there are any more, like we'll share on the aspirant groups as well. Right now, this is what I can think of.
For dentists, they can always cite Global Anti-Tobacco Survey that is done by TIS itself. So if you are able to cite that, then that is the best thing you can do.
Also, I just have a suggestion regarding the statistics. So, when the interviewer will ask anything about statistics, please start your answer with according to this and that. Don't say the number directly, because that was one thing that was pointed during my interview. So, if you are saying according to WHO, the statistics is this. So, you can start your answer with that.
So yes, Robin is again asking to Shishir, can you please share how you connect your answer why MHA as you are from engineering background? So yes, we have been getting these queries quite a lot. just an brief instructions that don't try to copy anyone's answer, because as rightly put out by some of us, that you are the best person to step in your shoes and defend your answer. Obviously Shishir can tell if he can, that how did he connect, he can give a brief of that, but just try to make your own story, because you can defend it well. Not Shishir will not come there, or Ria will not come there to answer on behalf of you. Okay, so yes, Shishir, over to you.
Yeah. So what was the question again?
So,
How you connect your answer why MHA, as you are from engineering background?
Yes, yes. The crux of this question is basically not to connect the graduation and post graduation. The crux of it is this, that they want to see if you are really interested in pursuing MHA as a PG degree from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So if I am a person who is an engineer and they want to know that why is he turning towards MHA, then definitely you should have a solid reason. Either you want to pursue it because you see that the college is good, either you want to pursue it because you have interest in MHA, you want to be in this field, you have to, like, you love, uh, you would want to work in hospitals as an administrator, as a manager, and either you have some interest in public service, something has to be there behind this decision of yours. That is what they want to know from you. So it wholly depends on your own experience, your own situation, and your own decision.
Adding
Okay,
to Shishir,
thank you,
I just
Shishir.
want to add one thing. So whenever you answer this question, try to connect it with some of the career options which you get after MHA. So it should show that after this course, it will be like I'll be going into this career. So that is the reason I am choosing this course. So try to make up a story which goes in this way and end up at your career after MHA.
Yes, yes, that's perfect.
Yes, thank you, Shishir and Sai Kishore. So Akriti is asking, if someone has opted for two courses, then will there be a question that which course you would give priority? So your priority you have always suggested in the form you have filled before. So that is your priority. You can always entertain a question. You can always be asked a question that if you are not getting this course, then will you take the admission in that course? So you have to give your answer then. So I think anyone wants to add on that question's answer?
Yeah, Kunal. Actually,
Yes.
there can be another question also. It can be, so if your MHA is the second option, then they might ask you, why did you choose it in second option, and why did you choose some specific course as first option more than this MHA? So then also you should be answering that question. So prepare for both these questions. Now I always say, now I'm addressing some 75, 76 people right now. So I don't want to put my views here, because it makes you people think in the same way, and you might prepare the same answer for this. So make your own stories for this two questions.
Yes. So Abhishek, you can always unmute yourself and ask your question. We are more than happy to answer in that way also. So we'll just take other questions that are already written first. And if any one of you want to speak up your question and want to and get the answer, then you can always speak up.
Hello,
Hello, Kunal. I
Krunal
want
sir.
to.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, Akshay was the first one. Then let the Akshay go first. Yes,
Okay,
Akshay.
let him.
so, so my question was like, I'm working in IT field from last 4 years, and when I started my career, I was working with an American healthcare company. So I have some experience of American healthcare sector also, but in terms of software which I worked in, and now I'm working in an insurance sector. So I have all the idea about how it works, what it happens, etc., etc. But I'm quite afraid the person who is interviewing me, they should not dig it very much into all these things, like the various policies. So I'm just afraid to that. And even the last time when I went for interview, I did not tell much about this because I was still afraid at that point of time. But abikele I have gone through all these things. So I just want to know, if at all I disclose this, like I work so and so here, this company, that company, American healthcare insurance. So and even after doing MH, I'm thinking to join insurance sector or IT field where I will be a part of healthcare itself. So will this be something like I'm doing it for something not for a civil service kind of a thing, or will it backfire me?
Hello, Akshay. To answer your question, no, I think you have a very good background. Like you mentioned, that you have worked for American healthcare and in insurance as well. I think that's an added advantage which you have, and you should mention it like during your interview. And do not be afraid. If you do not know anything, please be honest and just tell the panelists that this is not something which I have read or which I have worked with, but I will try to find out, answer it like that. And whatever you know, make sure that whatever you have worked with, make sure you are able to justify it, make sure you are able to connect it. You need not always have to be like have to have a social service kind of reason for you to join the course. That is not always required. You can always say that it's your interest which drives you to the course. So I think that is okay. And whatever work experience you have, make sure you know everything about it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Hello,
Kshitij.
Kunal sir.
Yes, Kshitij.
If there's anyone who's from pharma background, I had a question for them. If there's anyone in the meeting, please give me an assertive response.
I think there is no one of the pharma background, right, Ria?
No, nobody from right now in the meeting. We
So
do not.
Kshitij and I am also seeing a query from Glory as well. So Kshitij and Glory will. Ria, is there anyone in your batch from pharma background?
Yes, we do have people from pharma
So
background.
make
You
Kshitij
can
and
connect.
Glory connect to them, okay?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Kshitij.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Shabna, I think, has asked that do we have to upload any documents such as CV or certificates? No, you do not have to upload any documents like CV or certificates before the interview. That is not required. That is not asked. Anything of that sort is not required. I think Shishir has already
Answered the question of Rahat, yes.
answered. Yes, and Amlindu had the
There is a
same.
question for Karishma. So, can you share some questions that I can prepare? So, Karishma, can you
Regard
give a brief on biomedical engineers? The question they
uh,
share. Yes.
biomedical engineering, so far I have like what I have been asked, mainly they ask about instrumentation. Biomedical people have specific emphasis on medical instrumentation, so medical instrumentation can be asked. Then I think as per the curriculum I have studied, there are like general, all the engineering general subjects, all these programming, coding. I haven't faced a question regarding these coding or stuff, but medical instrumentation is there. Then biomedical engineers and MHA syllabus has telemedicine and hospital information system in common. HIS, telemedicine and medical information system. These three subjects we are studying for biomedical engineering. So I like we have HIS for MHA syllabus also. So I like some of the staffs will be knowing a bit about it, so they may ask. But being a biomedical engineer, mostly you will face questions regarding instrumentation, then the basic hospital duties, all this preventive maintenance, breakdown maintenance, CMC, AMC, and all this, how to acquire an equipment, then how to give out it, like tender related questions may come. It's not very common, it may come, but basically all this, what is preventive maintenance, what is breakdown maintenance, what is calibration, what is downtime, then all this, what is CMC, annual maintenance, then all these things, it will be for sure. What are the basic duties of biomedical engineers? That's it. Nothing. I think they didn't go so deep into the subject or anything. All the basic things. Just know your graduation. Just know that what you have been graduated in. That's it.
Yes. Thank you, Karishma, for answering. So Norman and Vidushi, you can ping Karishma or Ria
Yes.
for getting connected with BCom or life sciences background students. What should we study for PET MCQs? Will they be similar to PIT, which took earlier, and what kind of questions we can expect? So we have answered this question many a time that you should know about number crunching, you should know basics of quant, DI. You may expect they may ask something about statistics or recent subjects MCQ. So that's all you can expect in PET, and you may be given some time to write an essay also.
Also, be updated with whatever is happening in the healthcare field, like recently, whatever the COVID related questions. Basically, general aware, like for MCQs, you can expect anything from public health to recent general health awareness questions, anything. So if you stay updated with what is happening around and you have some basic about idea about public health, how public health in India works, what are the PHCs, CHCs, and all those. Since I think PAT may be common for MPH and MHA students. So there's no confirmation on it yet, but it can be common. So have basic idea about public health as well, about the various indicators like infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rates, which state has poor indicators, which state has good indicators, all those things. So be updated with all those data. What public health services are there after MHA? So MHA, after MHA, like the kind of placements which are offered after MHA campus are more of corporate roles. Usually, I'm not aware of public health services, but yeah, a lot of times public health opportunities come up, but you do not get it through the institute. You can apply it on your own and get into such institutions, as far as I know.
Yes. Anyone else want to take up this question? Okay. So can you please give an example on how to relate UG background with MHA course? I think we have answered it. So what all roles to expect after MHA course? So there are certain industry verticals in which you can go. So you can go in insurance, you can go in consultancy, you can go in hospitals, you can go in pharma. Hello.
Yes, go on.
Yes, you can go in pharma, you can go in healthcare IT, you can go in medical technology. So yes, in all those sectors you can go into as a manager.
Also, I would like you all can go to LinkedIn and try to look up what SMHA, what kind of roles SMHA alumni are pursuing right now. So that will give you a more clearer idea of what kind of roles you can expect, what are the various fields which you can go into. I mean, we can give you a brief idea about it, but once you go and search for yourself, you will have a better idea about all these things. So please go on LinkedIn. Please look up for SMHA alumni and see what their career graph has been like. So if you find some interesting alumni, you can even quote like cite them in your answers that okay, this so and so person is an alumni of this MHA, and so I want to like, and he is from this background and is at this role currently. So that is what even I am aspiring for. So that shows that you have done some research about the course. So you can try that.
How hard it is to get an admission for a non-medical background student? So Rohan or
Yes, sure. Yeah, see, I would definitely like to answer this question. It is, I feel, how I perceived it was, TISS always loves diversity. Okay, so it doesn't matter you're medico or you're non-medico, provided you have eagerness to study this course, eagerness to put an efforts, and you have some basic information of management as well as the hospital administration or whichever course you have preferred. So as far as your basics are cleared in these spheres, then I don't think there will be any problem. Yeah, that's it.
anyone else? Yes, so it's basically is how can you prove your inclination towards the course. Questions of MPH from a BTech graduation student. So, Shishir, have you appeared for MPH interview?
No, Krunal, I haven't appeared for MPH, but rather I have appeared for HRM interview.
Okay. So, basically, we will Meghna will try to connect with some of the MPH students, and we'll try that your query is resolved. My background is in art science. If they ask me about how will my graduation may help in MHA, can I be completely honest that there is no connection, because honestly there is not any. So if you want to be honest, then you should combine it with a reason that why want you to go there. So give the reason with the answer. That you can always be honest, but you need to merge that answer with that why you want to go towards it. So there should be a
Yeah,
strong reason for that.
rightly said by Kunal. Actually, I was also asked the same question, and whatever you who asked this question, Kunal?
Manyata.
Manyata, yes.
Okay. Okay, Manyata. So I was also asked the same question, and my answer was also the same, that literally there was no connection between mechanical engineering and MHA. So then you have to explain why there is no connection clearly, and then you should show that why you left that and why you chose this, what is the interest and what is that motivation which you have, so which made you choose this program. So go it in that way.
Followed by that, Manyata is asking that will my graduation affect my job opportunities, like just I mentioned. So Manyata, just being, I'm not speaking any lies. So there can be some problems, but it's always on the company. And when you are getting a placement from TIS, then you have an additional tag of TIS MHA. So some companies may overlook that, and you may get a good placement from here, but yes, there will be problems because your batchmates may have good opportunities. So as I have mentioned, if you are a place that is good, then it is always worthy to have a fight. Ashitij is asking, this question is directed if anyone is from pharma background. So yes, Kshitij, we will connect you with the pharma background person. How to expect an online TISPET exam to be conducted. So they are as we have talked with our faculty, they are trying that TISPET may be conducted at a center. So they are on the discussions right now. It's so you have to follow the official channels for any of the discussions. That's all we know. Shishir, would you like to answer which are the areas we can end up after MHA?
Yeah, sure. So, as Krunal and Ria have mentioned earlier only, so there are a lot of verticals where we can end up after pursuing MHA. There are hospitals, there are medical insurance companies, there are consultancies, there are medical IT and IT companies, medical technology companies, and the roles can be ranging from anywhere like you know administrator, manager. You can be manager also. You can be having some role in operations side, supply chain. There are a lot of roles for MHA people, and yeah, these are some places where you can join after MHA.
Yes, so where do you see yourself in few years, guys?
So this is a very common interview question, I feel.
Yeah, so be realistic here. Do not say that I see myself like in a very high post in like in a span of few years only, like 5 years or something. So that's why I told you please do that LinkedIn exercise which I suggested you. See after passing out from this, what are the various roles which people are which this alumni were there in after 5 years, after 10 years, after 20 years. You can get an idea what the ladder is like, And so you have a more clarity on, if you are asked where do you see yourself in 5 years, you'll be able to be more clear that okay, maybe I cannot be a CEO just within 5 years. Maybe you can be, but then it's too short a time, I feel. So just do that LinkedIn exercise. Go to LinkedIn, find this NHA alumni, see what their career graph is like, and note it down properly in a notebook, and you'll have a better clarity on such questions, how to answer such questions basically.
So Rahat is asking a good question, that can you please share some personal experience how the life at TIS, the faculty and the environment there. So online batch, can you answer it?
No, we cannot, sir.
No,
That
so
is
basically, I think the online that we are facing, I can assure you that the quality of education is not,
Up to the
the
up to the
quality is
mark.
same.
Not
Yeah,
affected.
it not affected. Yeah. So obviously we are missing out on campus life, but guys, this is the future. Like we cannot predict anything. So just be positive, and I think our teachers are, in making sure that we have the same, almost the same pedagogy. We are getting a lot of experience. We are attending webinars, which like normally may cost, but now we are attending it for free. So then we get a lot of exposure from people outside, who are in the industry right now, their personal practical experiences. So exams are also online. So this is also one of the different thing that we are doing. We are tackling in our own ways, but we are learning and we are growing in like different ways that will only show when we get placed. So online experience. I can sum it up that we are learning, growing on our own, and definitely it is worth it. This is worth it any way, online or offline. That's just my
so. Adding further to what Kritika said. So basically, this is a time that demands that things should go online, and that's how we are completing our course. Uh, yeah. Similarly, even if as far as offline exposure is concerned, then our seniors Kunal and Sai Kishore are there to explain that. Yeah. But even today, if you see, even corporates are providing work from home kind of job. Okay. So the time demands that we should now learn the online expertise of doing the jobs and doing the jobs well. So that's how online lectures, similarly participation in webinars are currently helping us.
guys,
And
our internships are not affected. So the field work we are completing, like we just completed our first internship. So the practical exposure, which is one of the pros of getting admission in this, is the internship, and it is not being affected. So I can vouch you on that.
Sai Kishore. Yes, Karishma, you can go. Sorry.
Yeah, as like my friends have said, we have very good academic thing going on. It is the new normal and everything. But one thing is like we won't be able to meet our cool seniors like Krunala and Sai Kishore here. We won't be able to meet our seniors, unfortunately.
We
Maybe
will
if
come in
this
North.
yeah, but if this lockdown thing gets lifted up, maybe we may go to campus, but we will surely be missing our seniors and the peer-to-peer interactions. That's a truth. It's inevitable, but it's true.
Yes, Sai Kishore, is he there? So I think now I must go. So the atmosphere there at TIS is actually the chill one. So as the students, as my colleagues and my what we can tell, my pals have already told that in the interview itself you might feel that the faculty is quite chill. They will make you feel comfort. They will even, in my interview I was asked that grab that glass of water and have a sip. So they will make you feel your blood pressure will be at this level, and it will suddenly come down to this. So they are that much good. So in TIS we used to what these guys couldn't do. So we used to play, we used to roam around. Obviously, we used to attend the classes as per the schedule, because in MHA you don't have any leeway of bunking the classes and roaming here and there. But after that, in the campus, we used to roam like anything, because campus itself is a big luxury in this. So it is lush green campus, so you can walk here and then and every day, and though you cannot feel that it is getting boring or anything. And there will be fest in every second or third month. So the MHA takes proud of being the champion of tug of war. So we played 4 tug of war, and in 4 of them we were the champions of the university itself. And yes, environment is that chill, and our faculty is also good. They are having rich knowledge. So that's why we are telling you that do not fake, because they read a lot, so they have knowledge of everything, a bit knowledge of everything, so they can catch you anywhere. They will go in deep and they will catch you. But though they will catch you, they will not let you know that you are caught, and so you will be like, my interview went well, but it's not the case. So don't fake with the faculty. So that's how it is at this.
Also, a question which I get frequently from dentists, particularly, is that do we get time to practice after the classes? So I want to tell you that MHA academics is very hectic. There are lots of assignments, lots of subjects, and I don't know. I mean, I was like really struggling in my first and second semester to manage all the subjects, all the assignments, and everything. So it's very hectic as well. I mean, it's fun and everything, but it's at the same time it's very hectic. So do not have any high hopes that you can do some locum or any other part-time job along with the curriculum. It's very difficult.
So if me and Lanka would be knowing that we won't get the second year at campus, then we would have take some time out of our assignments and everything to do some masti and everything around the campus. Yes. So is there any difference between single specialty and multi-specialty hospital? So basic difference is single specialty focuses on one thing. I mean, they may focus on cardiology, they may focus on gynec and childbirth, and multi-specialty is a concept that focuses on multiple specialties at a time. So you will get a lot of articles to read for it on online portals, online things. So you can read up about that. Could you please shed some light on the internships? So yes, about the first internship, please, some of you.
So the MHA curriculum basically has 3 internships. The first one is in a public hospital, the second one is to be done in a trust hospital, and the third one is to be done in a corporate hospital. These 3 internships are a part of the MHA curriculum, and this takes pride in its field work. That's the USP of all the courses in this, the field works, and we do not like to compromise on that. Whether it's COVID, whether it's pandemic or whatever, they try to send their students to field and try to get try their best that the students get exposure of fieldwork as much as possible. So all the 3 internships are very different in terms of, like, I think Kunal can shed more light. So I have completed my first internship right now in public hospital. I have done it from Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai. So during the internships, basically you are assigned to a supervisor, and they usually give you projects related to the hospital, and it gives very good exposure to work on the field. Learning, doing classes online is one thing, and learning by doing is another thing. So it gives, and it helps a lot, the projects and everything, the field work, the exposure helps a lot in the placements as well. So I think that is as well. So I think the internships here are very important and the USP of the course.
Any non-medical wants to take this answer of internships?
Yes, sure. I'm MSc in organic chemistry again. So the thing is, hospital ecosystem was completely new for me. as far as when you're working there as a staff or from the side of provider of healthcare services, what generally we have done as a non-medico is that go to the hospital for meeting with a relative who has been hospitalized. But as a staff member or from that side of the table, when you're doing this, then you need to study overall, I mean, the structure of hospital, how is it looks like, various departments, the various machineries. Similarly, what are the processes? How does hospital works actually? How do staffs interact? What is the hierarchy in the hospitals, and how do they report to each other? Similarly, the other things like right from hospital planning to the energy management. Yeah, so the entire thing was having altogether different perspective. And since along with me there were my batchmates who were doctors, so whenever I felt that there was a problem, so I used to ask them. So peer learning is also one of the important part of any management course. So I would say that I was very lucky in that case. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Rohan, for putting up some points like peer learning and everything. So basic thing is being a medico also you used to be a practitioner. So while you step in as a manager or a management intern, so there is a different exposure. Sometimes you come up with the problems that are so simple that you will think that they could have done this, but when you look at the micro picture, you will get to know that this is the bottleneck there. So this cannot be avoided, and they are working in this manner because of this reason. So all three levels, that is public, trust, and corporate, all three are working differently, and that's what we the students of MHA take proud, that we have exposure of all three. We know that what is the difference, how we can compare it, how they operate. So yes, as Ria has rightly said, that it is a rich experience and it is the USP of the course, because we have exposure of all the three hospitals for 2 months each. So you can imagine that one semester is of internship only. Yes. Can you please tell what MPH questions did they ask? So any one of you have appeared for MPH interview?
I had actually appeared for MPH interviews. So the MPH questions are very different. Like they are mostly on public health based and what you can like. Uh, I had applied for health administration. So they had asked me the differences between questions from epidemiology, biostatistics, what are they, and how like and even there they asked questions about my state, like which is Uttar Pradesh. So they asked me that what are the problems, what is the state of PHCs there, how do you assure quality treatment, how do you make healthcare more accessible and affordable. So if you are working for a community, how do you ensure the people they do not have that kind of awareness? How do you ensure that they are aware? What are the steps that can be taken? So the questions were of that sort of basically, as far as I can remember.
Yes, Ritika.
Yeah, so I was asked about the common diseases. Even I had appeared for HA, like health administration. I was asked about the most common diseases in women in my state, and then I was asked why my first preference is NHA hospital and why public health is my second. So if you're doing that with a good reason, like why you're choosing. And then incidence prevalence was one thing that I was asked. What is epidemiology? I was asked. Statistics questions.
Yes.
I was also asked about the role of ASHA workers and ANMs in the communities, and I was also asked about institutional deliveries and home deliveries. Like, is it really needed? Like, is it really required for a woman who is in a village to go to the hospital and to deliver a baby and that kind of questions. So make sure you
Yeah,
have
and I
some.
was also asked about the internships of MPH. They are in rural areas, so will you be comfortable working there? There is no network, you have to arrange your stay. So I was asked about that also. Like, what is your opinion and how would you manage?
You should also know about three-tier system of India. That is for healthcare. You should know about ANC, PNC, the antenatal care, prenatal care, the statistics. Then statistics about non-communicable diseases, communicable diseases, clinical trials also. Then you should know the basic difference in that is for pandemic, endemic, everything. Yes, they may ask you about health profile of your state in MPH as well. So that's what I guess can be the probable questions. But if you want to know more, then you can ask. You can ping. It goes towards MHA. Yes. May I connect to Rohan Matre sir after? Yes, sure. If Rohan doesn't have any problem.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So I think if anyone wants to unmute him or herself and ask a question.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, let Abhishek go first. Yes.
Sir, how to approach this question? What's your expectation from this particular course? Then how to answer this question?
What is your background, Abhishek?
Sir, engineering.
Okay, so you can always incline it to why you want to do this course. So if you say that I want to, if I'm a BDS guy, and what is my expectation, that I want to get towards management part of the healthcare, and I want to learn of management. So that is a overview of the answer. But in engineering, why you want to do this course, you can incline that, and then you can tell about your expectations. So it's
Okay.
basically connecting the dots. Anyone can attempt.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I agree with Kunal. It's very subjective. So just make sure that you connect your background. Try and connect this thing with your background in YMHA. So you can answer it that way.
Ma'am,
So
my next question is to you actually, Ritika ma'am. Ma'am, you said that you have given interview in 2019 and 2020 also. So you said that you have done mistakes in 2019, that you have said very cliche kind of answer for why MHA.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
changes you have done in 2020, that you have just just to the point that why MHA. So please explain it, that
Yeah.
particular points.
Yeah, so I basically understood what is MHA. I understood the course in and out. So there is a prospectus of this wherein we have a detailed thing about MHA, MPH. So I studied about that. I did the LinkedIn exercise which Ria was telling about. I connected with, I think, Krunal and Sai, so they gave me a better perspective about what is going on in TIFF, all those things. So in that 1 year, I tried and researched as much as I could about the course, and I made sure I didn't blabber, I didn't fake any answers, and I was very honest. So research karo, read about MHA, what the course is offering.
Ma'am, will you
So
please give just one important point that will actually enlighten us? That will go into that, that mindset, that how to approach this question.
which question? Why MHA?
Why MHA? Yes, ma'am.
Like, you should be really passionate about it. I think, like, it should not be ki, you don't want to do any other course or you didn't get any other college, that's why you are applying for this. So I think people who are in that zone, na, those people I think they try and fake it. So you need to be really passionate about doing healthcare. So read about healthcare, know what is healthcare industry. So it's very broad. Healthcare is a broad industry. And as much as you research, you will understand what the industry is.
Okay.
so
Thank you.
basically, a person may not know what is the difference between MHA and MPH. Then he is not inclined towards the course. When I was asked about MHA, or
Exactly.
any one of you can be asked about MHA, and you answer that, sir, these are the subjects taught in the first semester, these are in the second semester, these are in the third semester. So then that clicks to their mind that yes, this person is inclined towards it.
Exactly.
So that's what we emphasize every time. It's the basic, the things that you should research well. I told you 3 points, na? That honesty, value. That tell me something about yourself. What have you done in the past? You should be confident about that. That this you have done, and that's this is why you want. This is why you have did it. So that is the honesty and the values. The second thing is how you are aware about the course you want to do. So that is your awareness and the hard work and the research you put in for the course, and how your mind works. So it's not exactly that you should think like a manager, because that's what TIS will teach you, but there are some inherent ways in which you will think. So if it is near to that thing, then they can obviously mold you and groom you towards that. So that's the basic 3 things that a aspirant or a person applying for TIS, or a person in the interview should have. So that's what we emphasize for. Yes. I think Abhishek, you
Exactly.
Thank
answer.
you.
We have answered.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Jai Shankar, you are the next one, I think.
Okay. I am basically my background is in Ayurvedic field. So I would like to know the aspect of an Ayurvedic government, hospital administration, and public health. So I
Jai
have
Shankar,
applied for
sorry, you
both
were
these
not
courses.
clearly audible.
Yes, yeah. Hello.
Yes.
My background is in Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine, and I have applied for both hospital administration and public health. So I would like to know about some questions that would be related to Ayurvedic doctors. If someone is there, that would be really helpful for me.
Biomedical engineer, right? Hello.
No,
No,
Ayurveda,
Ayurvedic,
Ayurveda,
Bachelor of
Ayurveda is better.
Ayurvedic Medicine.
Okay. So yes, we will we will guide you towards the person. I have some person in my batch, and Ria, if you have, you can also help him. So Jai Shankar, you can ping either Ria or Karishma. So their contact numbers are